Fantastic. I think I am finally up and running. Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. I don't know whether I'm even got audio. The one person that is watching, if you could tell me if I've got any audio or not, that would be great. It would be a good start anyway, the way today is going. Stream health is looking good. It's just whether anything else is working. I've had to give up with Streamlabs. Streamlabs wouldn't do a thing today. Basically being an absolute pain in the butt. So I have wiped off that and I have just gone straight onto OBS. But that means I've got nothing set up for chat, nothing set up for how many people are watching the stream, anything like that, because I do not know how to do it in straightforward OBS. So we're just sort of winging this afternoon. But welcome to the one person that's watching. This could get incredibly boring. I'm going to have to turn my volume down. I think that's way too high. Allow me to bring that down a bit into the yellow. A bit more about. Ooh, let's get you down about there. That should be okay. So yeah, the one person that's managing to watch. If you could just... Ah, it's because I'm unlisted. That's ridiculous. So we're going to stop and we're going to start again. Good afternoon, Scott. I don't know whether you can hear me. I have had a nightmare of a morning. Good afternoon, Scott. That's not a good start, is it? That's better. We'll have that shut off because that's really annoying. So... Sorry, just messing around here, just trying to get myself sorted. Yeah, Scott, if you can hear me, hello. No, great, that's fine, okay. Well, that's your fault because that's one of your microphones I'm now using. Tried to use Streamlabs, couldn't get it working. It was being an absolute idiot since it's done its last upgrade. It was just chugging along, being really, really terrible. So I've gone back to OBS. The problem with that is I haven't got anything set up for chat on the screen, how many people are watching on the screen. You know, all those little bits and pieces that go around. I don't even know how to do it in OBS. So heaven help if anything like that happens. I've got you watching and nobody else, so that's interesting. So at the moment, kid, it's just you and me. Hope the video is alright. I can't really tell from here. Hope I'm nice and crisp and clear. Stream health looks very good. My little side camera seems to be working alright, so that's good. Oh, look, poorly finger. Yeah, it's just being a bit wrong today, to put it mildly. Nothing much is going right. But hey ho. So I thought I might street privates. Well, it appears to be at the moment, mate, because it appears to be you, me, and the gatepost. So yeah, we're just gonna wing it, aren't we? Because that's what we do best. Oh, that's 2 watching now. Woohoo! Not double figures. That's not the right word, is it? So yeah, I have no idea how to set OBS up to get any of that stuff on the screen. I suppose you add things down here, do you? Media source, video capture. No, I've no idea how to do it. Absolutely no idea at all. There's lots of audio captures and stuff and image side slow. I know what I meant. But I've no idea how to import all the stuff that I used to have. So, haha! Good afternoon. We're 2 up. That's brilliant. Oh god, what have I done now? Oh, this is all going terribly Pete Tong. I don't even know whether I'm still live now. I have the important things on screen, which is fine. Well, that's true, up to a point. I mean, if, you know, what happens if somebody sort of gives me, you know, £5 million as a tip? It won't come up on the screen. It won't go ding, 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 or whatever it is the bloody things do. Anyway, good afternoon, gentlemen. 3 of you now. God, this room's getting full. Before I start with this thing here, I don't know what I was going to say. I was going to say something, but it clearly wasn't important. I can't believe that nobody else was streaming this afternoon. I can't believe that nobody else was streaming today at all. So I just thought I'd do something. I got this, got a message from Banggood about a month ago. I'm sure I've told you all this, and they wanted to send me stuff, so I said they could. And I need to start actually getting some stuff out there from them. Now, unfortunately, my big issue is that I have missed the Banggood sale for Creality, or Creality sale on Banggood. So all the prices have gone back up again. So the chances of me, anybody using my affiliate link, yes, I'm back, TK, sorry about that. Anybody using my affiliate link to buy anything at the moment is non-existent. But if I don't sell stuff using my affiliate link on Banggood, they don't send me any more printers. So it's a bit of a catch-22 situation. So I'm just going to unbox it, look at it. We might build it, and then I might try and cobble together a video from that, which I will then put out with some links and stuff. There is one link in the description. But 616 drones, good afternoon. My goodness, we're all in this afternoon. There really must be nobody else streaming. So yeah, I'm kind of sort of doing this after the horses bolted and the stable doors been shut and all that rubbish. But I've got to try and do something. I have a Delta coming from them. I could, I suppose, try and tell you what that is. Although I probably have told you that already. But I've got a Delta coming from them, which is a kit which I have to build. That is going to take some doing. Again, I don't think there'll be much feedback from that either. But it is what it is, basically, at the moment. In other news, I have sold my original CR10. I don't know whether any of you will remember that. I put a bed leveling sensor on from Pete. From it's gone. See, brain's gone dead. Skynet. He sells by Skynet mods on eBay, and I put an early ABL sensor on from him on that. and I put the twin lead screw thing on it. But I was running out of room, and I just decided that it was time to get rid of something. So yeah, well, it was going to be, but it's gone on other things, unfortunately. But it's gone. It's made a bit of room on the shelf behind me there, so something can go there. Probably this when it's built up, probably the Ender when it's built up will sit up there. But yeah, it's just, I was just running out of room. More machines turning up. Like I say, I've got this and another one, this Delta thing coming, nowhere to put it. So somebody on a local Facebook group had put on that they were selling an AM10. So I got in contact with her and I said, all right, when it sells, if it sells, just let me know what kind of interest you've had in it, because I've got several machines which I want to get rid of. And very kindly, she had a few people contact her and she passed one of them on to me. I told him what I had available, and he picked the CR10, so he's now got that. He's never had a 3D printer before, so I'm kind of liaising with him through Facebook Messenger, getting him set up, because it also had that E3D V6 style hot end set up with the twin fans on it as well, which, if you remember, meant you couldn't run the fans at above. You couldn't run them above about 52%, otherwise the thermal runaway protection fired up because it was cooling too much. So yeah, I'm working my way through that with him, so I'm trying to read the chat as well now. I suppose a photon not running tut. Do you know, I haven't run it in quite a while actually, TK. I know that's very, very bad of me. I'm going to need to sit down with you, I think, with that, because I'm still struggling with it. I'm still having adhesion problems. So yeah, I'll talk to you about that at some point, I'm sure. So now we've got 6 people in the room. I know, the dizzy heights of 6. Shall we have a look what's in this box? Now I have opened it, as you can see. I opened it. Oh yes, you can see. That's good. I opened it just basically to see what was in there. I tell you something else I have done as well. I've been very naughty and I've taken it out, and I've taken the bottom off the control box to find out what board is in it, because I'm sure you all want to know. Those that don't know, it's got the 1.1.4 in it. Now, I don't know whether that means anything specifically to any of you, but I believe it's the latest version of the board, and I believe also that it is already got a bootloader on it, allegedly. We will look into that. But here's my box. It's this thing here. I do have a G-Tech A10M, which is sat down there. I've got the A20, which is there. I've got the Sidewinder, which is directly behind you there. I've got the A10, which is there. I've got the A30, which is there. I've got my Prusa sat down here with my multi-material upgrade. I've still got the S kit for that, which I still haven't done on it. That's another video I'm going to have to do, isn't it? I've got an Ender 3 sat there. I've got an Ender 3 sat down there. And I've got my Photon sat behind me here. So I'm kind of surrounded by printers. Anyway, back to this box of excitement. So we get the guarantee, and a quality control pass sticker, and the instruction manual. We might actually need to look at that because things aren't brilliant. I have a box full of bits, so we'll start taking them out slowly but surely and looking at them as we go. I'm sorry the stream is so rough and ready, but like I say, I couldn't get Streamlabs to run, so I've got none of my usual setup running. So I've no idea what goes on, what's going on in the chat. I can't hardly read it. Filament Frenzy, good afternoon. So I thought you might appear. Kind of thought everybody was getting bored because nothing was happening. So as much as this is a look at the Ender 3 Pro, it's just a chance for everybody to actually be in a room together, because it was getting pretty bad this afternoon, wasn't it? So obligatory, well, not obligatory actually. There are a lot of companies aren't putting these in anymore, and I keep losing mine. So any companies that are watching, please keep putting these in, because I think the missus has got a pair for doing her nails with. You know, there's stuff all over. So just bear with me. Bear with me. Right, so yes, we need these, please. Why did I start 3D printing, and what was my first printer? My first printer was, it was an A8. Bought as a kit, bought from Banggood, actually. Why did I buy it? There was as the same as all of you, I sit and watch a lot of YouTube because TV, certainly in this country, is rubbish. So I watched a lot of YouTube videos, and I think I saw a few early videos of people first getting them, and I thought, oh, that's good, and it was an affordable thing. I mean, I'd heard about 3D printing before that, but I hadn't really sort of, you know, thought about it as a thing to do because the machines were always so expensive. But it's the usual story. It came out, it was cheap. I thought, I'll have one of those. So I bought it and I built it, and then I started reading about people's houses catching fire, which is how I got to meet Pete School, because it was fortunate that he was doing his Skynet 3D mods on eBay, and there were all sorts of things he was doing. He was doing firmware stuff as well, which kind of made my machine safe. And then I bought bits and pieces off him, and then I met Tim Hoogland also through that, because he was doing the same thing at the same time, and we were sort of all chatting together and one thing and another. And that's how I first got into it. But not long after I first got into it, the CR10 came out, which was the one that's just gone, that I just sold, and I just got a bit of a bonus from the boss. So I went out and I got the CR10, and that was just such a world of difference. I couldn't believe it. So a bit of time went on. I gave the AA away to a local scout group to get them into 3D printing. They now have a shed load of Ender 3s, and they actually gave me the A8 back. So I've got most of it in a box somewhere, just sort of chucked in. We'll have to dig it out one day and actually look and see what's there. My first print, yeah, well, you know, the usual stuff, benches, stuff like that, and then you start printing the mods for the printer. I think a lot of people, when they first get 3D printers, all they do is print mods for the printer. They don't actually print anything else. I'm trying to think of the first thing that I did that was of any use on the ANET, and I think I did, after the usual things, I did an SD card holder. I then did some, tell you what I did a little pot for makeup brushes for the missus, because it was a case of what you're doing, spending all your time in that room prattling about with that thing. So I had to start producing stuff that she liked, because then she let me carry on. And then it was into lithophanes and things like that, which I did for a while. You never printed a mod for yours? I'm sure 99% of people, I'm sure, the first things that they do are once, because certainly nowadays people research the machines a lot more before they buy them. So they go on all the Facebook groups and all on the YouTube channels, and they see what people are doing to their machines before they've even got them. So a lot of the time, when they've got them, they know straight away the things they want to print, and they've probably got the files already downloaded. They've probably even got the software to slice them, so everything's ready to go, that when they get the machine and they get the machine built, they start printing. And I think that's how it starts. Goodo, so that'll be your new pack ready to go out when, Scalder? you'll have to just let me know. Hang on, I'll tell you what we'll do, Scalder. Today is going to be a day of loving and sharing. So Scalder is now a mod, so he can now put links on to his filament packs that he does. So if you don't get those, you can go and have a look at them. I haven't had one in ages because I just, unfortunately, have not been in the position to be able to get one. But we'll get there again. But yeah, Scalder, get that whacked up, mate. April's running late already. Right. Just get your links up there so people can see them, because we have got 8 people watching now. Scary, isn't it? So back to the box of bits. What have we got here? We have got a few cable ties. They're getting stingy with these, aren't they? 5 cable ties. We have the bigotry pin. Now, allegedly, that needle is for cleaning your nozzle. I believe it is an acupuncture needle, and it is there to stick in the side of your head to relieve the tension of when you can't get your first print to stick to the bed. I think that's what that's for. But don't try it at home, for goodness sake. So we've got the Allen keys, we've got 2 spanners, we have got a little flat birdie screwdriver. Yahoo! We've got a bag of bits and pieces and belts and stuff. Now this I find quite interesting. We've got a scraper. Now, why should we need a scraper when we've got this lovely bed sat here that you take off and bend and your stuff pops off? Why do you need a scraper? Think about it, reality. You don't need a scraper if your bed works properly. But we'll wait and see, because maybe it won't. So we've got, that's 2 20 by 40 rails. That'll be me uprights, won't it? Do you know, this takes me back. I'm not used to having to build machines. I'm used to having to put, you know, like the Sidewinder, 4 bolts in, job done. Oh well, build the spool holder. 2 20 by 20s, one slightly longer than the other. Not quite sure where that is, I can't remember, but I'm sure in the fullness of time we will find out. Epoxy roll of little bit of filament. In fact, you probably get more from Scott's stuff. Micro USB, no, sorry, a USB thumb drive thing with a SD card in it. I wonder what size the SD card is. Are these still being sent with all sorts of nasty stuff on them that murder your printer, murder your computer even? Let's have a little look. Yeah, that's probably nearer the truth, TK. They've got so many laid about that they just chuck them in. But you know, you don't need them. You shouldn't need them. Most of these modern machines, you really shouldn't need them. So that is, let's have a little look at this, shall we? Oh, it's pretty. It's 2 colours. It's a Netac, never heard of them. Let's see if we can get that. Actually, it'd probably be better on that camera, in fairness. There we go. Netac 8 GB. Well, if you need one, TK, just order an Ender 3 Pro and then you'll get one. Yeah, there's a couple of end stops in the pneumatic fittings. There's a spare nozzle. God, I've got so many spare nozzles, it's ridiculous. That's another little something else I have done. With the money I got for the Ender 3, I have ordered 2 nozzle X's from E3D. I've ordered the Volcano one to go on the artillery, and I have ordered a normal one to go on the Prusa. Well, a normal one for the Prusa. So that's on its way, so that'll be nice. I want to put them on and then hopefully forget about having to replace nozzles and nozzles wearing out, because from what I've heard, You don't need to prat about with any of the temperatures because they're about the same temperature coefficient as the brass ones. Excuse me, and they don't wear out, or they wear out a lot slower. So hopefully that will solve all those problems. Afternoon, Don. Good to see you, mate. Anyway, so yeah, got that bracket. It's all very exciting, isn't it? I'm sure you've all seen them before. Power supply. Now then, do you believe this is a Meanwell? Because I know they were prattling about, weren't they? With they changed the power supplies in the was it the end of 5 that they were all supposed to be Meanwells, and then all of a sudden they stopped being Meanwells. Well, that is a Meanwell. Again, that's another little thing that I did actually check, and that is, I can just about read it in there, that is a proper Meanwell power supply. So that's good. That's a definitive step in the right direction. Here we are. We have a control board, if I can get it out. Oh, yeah. So your bog standard control board. Nothing exciting about that, I don't believe. That is just what it is. We've got this, the flexible build plate. Woo. Put it on camera 2. Put it on camera 1. You see, camera 2 and camera 1. What a load of rubbish. It's just like a big fridge magnet thing, isn't it? That's all it is, really. Which reminds me, don't know whether you remember the stickers, of which I have about 2 left, I think. Well, moving onwards, new stickers, bigger stickers. These are classed as bumper stickers, apparently. But yeah, stickers. If anybody wants one, hey, Mike's in the room. Howdy. If anybody wants one, if you go into the About Me section on YouTube, I think you can find my address. And if you can find my address, you can send me a stamped address envelope, and I will send you a sticker. Make sure it's big enough to fit in. So yeah, basically you pay the postage, I'll send you a sticker. I might get rid of one by the end of the year. But they were cool, they were cheap. I thought, why not? Make me feel important. So we're going to get this bit of foam off here. We get down to the nitty gritty. Lead screw, single, one of, not slid inside anything. Which company was it that hid it inside one of the extrusions? Can't remember, but one company used to slide it up the middle and then it fell out when you took the extrusion out. That was annoying. I use Sticker Mule TK. They take about a week from me uploading the graphics to them getting to me, and they keep doing deals and I keep falling for them. But that lot, there's 50 there. They were $19 and that's posted. So I didn't think that was too bad. I don't know what that works out in pounds. I'm sure somebody will be able to tell me. But they're really, they're incredibly good quality. I don't know whether you can see how good a quality they are, but they are fantastic quality. And because they're called bumper stickers, they're sort of waterproof, so they don't sort of fall off stuff. I'm still considering getting some. They do some magnetic ones, and I did think about getting those for people to put actually on their extrusions, because you could just stick them up on the frame. And then I thought, well, if they're not very good and they fall off and they knock somebody's print off, they won't be happy, I'll be in trouble. So maybe not, and they are an awful lot more expensive than just stickers. I'm sure it won't be €5 done. I very much doubt it'll be €5. Look it up. Is all I can say. If you Google it, it might well tell you. If you just Google letter post UK to wherever you are in Germany, it will tell you how much it is. And just make sure that that's enough. That's all you need to do, mate. And we'll make sure it gets to you one way or another, buddy. Right, what have we got in here? So we've got the extruder assembly, and they look very boring and normal, and nothing much on those steppers that tell me anything at all. Can't believe I've got to put a kit together. Whose stupid idea was it for me to come and live stream this afternoon? I mean, really? Is anybody going to admit it? Nobody's going to admit it. Okay. Oh my goodness. I've got a big lump. That's always useful. We'll look at that in a moment. We'll see what else is in here. The spool holder. The other bit of the spool holder. The stepper motor for the Z-axis. Slightly different coupling. I'm going to have to put that over there because I've run out of room on here. And an empty box. I've got to say, the box was a bit battered when it turned up. I was a little bit concerned. Because it looked like it had been squashed somewhat. Don't know whether you can see. Can you see on that? All these edges here, where the folds are. I don't know whether they've been cut or what, I don't know, but it wasn't brilliant. I was a little concerned, it's got to be said. But it seems to be alright at this stage. It says destroying the place. Now I've got to be careful with this setup, because this isn't as big a table as it looks, because it's a smaller table with a piece of board on top. So if I put stuff too close to the edges, it could tip up, or it could flex and it'll all fall over the floor. Whatever way, it's going to be funny for you guys, I'm sure. Sorry, I'm just trying to keep up with the chat. Yes, don't forget to post the links, Golder. Very important. Yes, but yours was... I was going to say yours was cheaper than mine, but that's not true, is it? But you know what I mean. Right, so... we have an Ender 3 Pro. Now... I'm sure there's some of you watching this that will have more of an idea what makes it a Pro compared to the original Ender 3. First thing I can see is that the board has been turned the other way up. So the SD card slot and the USB card slot are now at the top rather than at the bottom where you couldn't get your finger to. I mean, most of the alterations that they've done, I believe, are down to Chris Nerys. He spoke to them, sent them stuff back saying you need to sort this out, you need to sort that out, and I believe basically most of what they've done is off the back of what he said. It's got larger wheels for the... Is they larger? Where's my other one? No, they're not larger, they're the same size. I was going to say they are larger wheels for levelling the bed, but they're not. They're actually the same size. So that's... I'm just checking back. Right, so this extrusion, can you see this extrusion here? On the Ender 3 it is a 20 by 40, and on here it is a 40 by 40, although that bracket isn't straight, so we'll have to have a little look at that in a minute. So a slightly different bracket for that, but yeah, that's a 40 by 40 rather than a 20 by 4, a 20 by 10. Okay, just keep looking over my shoulder at one of my enders just to see what the difference is. Let's have a look underneath. Nothing very exciting. Like I say, I know the board is a 1.1.4. I believe it has a bootloader on it, but we don't know. I also believe that it doesn't have thermal runaway protection enabled. I'm led to believe. We will have a look at that at some point. Whether it's today or not, I don't know. Well, that was easy. I don't know what the specs are for this mat. I would imagine I won't be able to take the board much over about 60 degrees without it losing its magnetic properties. But you know, it is what it is. If I want to print something hot, I've got that machine sat behind me to do that. Which reminds me, I just need to check. Shall we have a little look at something? Oh, it's come off. Now then, having a bit of a play with the Sidewinder, and I'm just starting to print something new. Can anybody tell me what? I don't know whether that's in focus or not. Look at the state of my hands. What that is from? I'm sure some of you will. It's the first part of something new. Who's going to be the first to realise what it is? Out of the 13 people watching? My God, Saturday afternoon telly must be rubbish. It is absolutely right. It's the fifth element. Effalump. I'm going to build him. I've always wanted to build him, and I've got that Area 1 silk gold PLA, and it's really nice. I don't know whether anybody saw the stuff I put on Twitter or on Facebook. The Wexter's bit I did, I printed. I did a lino, which came out really nicely, but then I thought that's an ideal colour to do that in, so we're going to have a go for it. It was printing while I was trying to get this lot set up, but it finished before I got started. Right, so we have an assembly list as usual. Is that the right way around on the screen? It is. Good, that's all right then. We have the steps inside. What's that TK's just put? I've just found the bike from Akira. Oh, cool. Little head and big body. Don, are you talking about me? Right. Shall we build, ladies and gentlemen? Might as well while we're here, and we've got nothing better to do today. You see what happens? I say 16. Did I say 16 watching and it dropped to 11 straight away? Marvellous. So, what does it say I need? Need 2 of these apparently. Thanks, TK. It's so kind of you. Clearly people are watching reruns of Emmerdale Farm or something rather than sitting with me this afternoon, because we've only got 11 watching. But hey ho. So what's everybody else up to? Anybody got anything that they're waiting to arrive? Any orders? Any new machines they're after? Anything like that? Because it can't all be about me, you know. Well, it can. My channel, damn it. Right, so we've got that one that's got 2 holes in it, and I believe that one goes this side, and then this one goes that way, because that's where your power supply bolts in. That seems to make sense, doesn't it? And now then, I'm guessing that those slight milling parts there will be at the front, so that's where your screw will screw into. So we're basically just going to whack them onto there. I know we've got to try and keep... I tell you what we should do before we go any further. Can you see that on here? Yeah. Is make sure that the bed... Oh, look at that. There's the tiniest amount of play on the bed, that's all. I don't feel any flat spots either. But that wobble on that bed is almost negligible. We'll cross that bridge later, but that's... Oh, actually, there's a bit more than I first thought. Not a massive amount. It would appear just to be that front wheel they'll need doing. I tell you what, we will do it now because it's easier to do it at this stage than it is when we've got the full gantry up and everything's messing about. Mike just found a guy a couple of hours away from me that has a CR10S for $200. My goodness, he's got more than one. 10 CR10Ss for $200. Wow, how many are you buying? Buy them all and sell them at $250. Did I say that? Surely not. Oh, first drop of the day. You know, when you get old like me, you start to drop things. Which is another reason why you haven't seen me for a while. I have to apologise. I know I've not been doing much recently. So as some of you know, I had a weekend away a couple of weeks ago, excuse me, down in London. We went to a football match. We went to the England game, which was great. Had a few beers, had a good laugh. And then the following weekend was the weekend prior to my birthday, which was the same day as Scott's birthday. So I was away on the Saturday, the Sunday, and the Monday. I actually came back on my birthday. So as of however many days ago it was, I don't even know what the date is now, 13th, I'm now 50 years and 12 days old. So yeah, I hit 50. So I feel like an old man now. I really do feel like an old man now. But it's all good. It's all good. You know, you can't be young forever. Ask Don, he'll tell you. "31. I don't remember being 31. And that's a good thing. If you remember being 31, you weren't enjoying life. No, seriously, at that price, I would buy them all. I would. Because there's profit to be made in that, mate. There's profit to be made, and we like profit. Profit is a good thing. Right, so which bolts does it say I have to use for these top extrusions, eh? I think it's going to be the M525s, but we'll have a check. But I don't want to get it wrong. Oh, it's the M545s. Go, you see, serves me right for trying to be too clever. M525s, M545s. It was the right ones I picked up to start with. Cool, there you are, guys. Make a note of that. If you haven't looked at the mystery boxes before, go have a look. Don't have a look now. You're supposed to be watching me. Just copy it and paste it into the browser and look later. Goodness sake. Can't believe you've all gone. There's like one person left because everybody's gone to look at his boxes. That's just not... It's not cricket, that, you know. Right, where was I? I was looking at my instructions, wasn't I? So, not... Barring the obvious, which is me. Is anybody still here? Oh yeah, 12 of you. You see, this is so much better than watching Saturday afternoon telly. At least I think it is. So, are they tapped both sides of those screws? Yes, they are, so I can't get that wrong. That's always a bonus. Right, talk amongst yourselves, guys. I will point out again, there is a link in the description to an affiliate link from Banggood for this printer for more than it was for last week when they were selling them cheap because it was their anniversary, but I couldn't get the... I wasn't here to do any of the videos, so I've missed the boat. But if you are daft and you can't find one cheaper anywhere else and you do want to buy one, I would appreciate you using the link. They have... you can get them direct from China. They are actually cheaper when they get stock into the UK, but they are not going to get stock into the UK till May. So it swings and roundabouts, really. Keep your eyes open for import duty, of course, which of course you won't get if you get the UK warehouse, allegedly UK. I'm sure it's not in the UK, it's probably somewhere in Europe. In fact, it's probably France. I seem to remember it was France for some reason. If you do buy from China, you may get stuffed for import duties, which I believe will be about 30 quid, something like that. Okay, Scott, so you could be doing a stream tomorrow. Do I ask what machine it is, or is that going to be part of the surprise? Oh God, chucking nuts all over. Alright, we have upright number 1 in. Ha 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 ha. That seemed to go on quite easily, even for a man of my technical abilities. Like I say, I'm not used to actually having to build a thing. I used to hate Saturdays as a child. I'm trying to remember what Saturday TV was. What did everybody used to watch on a Saturday? Can't remember really. There was Swap Shop on a Saturday morning, which later became Going Live or something, but I think I'd got out of watching telly by that point. Was Tiswas a Saturday morning thing? One of you oldies in here must be able to tell me. I mean, I know my friends from across the pond will have no idea what I'm talking about with Tiswas, but I'm sure Tiswas was a Saturday morning. That was fantastic. Sally James. Oh, Sally James. My goodness. Don't know what it was about her. Well, I do. There was a couple of things. Behave. But yeah, no, Tiswas was amazing. Lenny Henry doing his Trevor McDonald. Dear me. The Phantom Flinger. You see, the Americans are all sat here now going, what is he talking about? What does he mean? But no, it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. That was about the best thing on a Saturday morning that I can remember. Right, so we've got those two in. What does it say to do next? Bum 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 bum. I've just put that on the wrong way round. Say nothing. Do you know, I think I said in one of my first videos, the dying fly. Yeah, the dying fly. Indeed. I think I said in one of my earliest videos, which is something else I've been doing recently, is going through all the people who have quite good YouTube channels and some of those that have terrible YouTube channels. I've just chopped that on the floor now. And looking at their first videos. Many of which aren't about 3D printing, but some of them are hilarious. But I think I said in one of my earliest videos that I make mistakes so you don't have to. And I've just made a mistake so you don't have to. Too much talking, not enough thinking about what I'm doing is the problem. And I've got that extrusion the wrong way. So at least I realised before we got much further, and we'll have it turned around and we'll have it tightened up. Scolder, dude, you are such a star. I don't know whether that's come up anywhere for anybody to see. I really don't know. But Scotty, you're a superhero, and I deserve every penny of it. No, I really do appreciate that, mate. That's really kind. That might go some way to get rid of filament box. Is that why you've done it? No. No, that's cracking. Cheers, mate. No, it didn't pop up. I didn't think it would. I've got nothing set out at all. Well, I have. If anybody wants to Patreon me, not Patreon me, if you go to the Streamlabs link, which is probably in the description, Streamlabs only takes 2%, I think. But if you want to, anybody ever wants to PayPal me or anything, it is just... I've got a link somewhere. Have I not got a link somewhere to my PayPal thing? Anyway, if you want to send me something through PayPal, you can always message me, and I will just do it. There you are, look. But thank you. Yeah, I mean, you know, every little helps. It really does. And apart from it's not the monetary value, I'll be honest with you, it's the fact that you think enough about me that you want to give me something, and that, oh, that's going to knacker the microphone. I hope nobody's got headphones on, because that will have been horrible. Nobody's mentioned the t-shirt yet. Why hasn't anybody mentioned the t-shirt? Why has nobody mentioned the t-shirt? I'm waiting for somebody to mention the t-shirt. Alright, nobody mentioned the t-shirt. Right, so we've got those two on now. We've got them the right way around. This is complicated. I keep forgetting, with these manuals, you have to go across the top and then across the bottom. What you don't do is that, and then that, and then that, and then that, because you really mess things up when you do it that way. 13 watching. Woo! Unlucky for me. Okay, so step 3. We have to fit the Z end stop. What's so special about the t-shirt? What's so special about the t-shirt? So it's got that on there as well. Well, there's only certain people that will recognise it, and they aren't in the room. I'm going to stand up now. The mic's working out beautifully, thank you. Well, you tell me, you're listening to it. Can you read that? Is that coming up? All my friends got 3D printers. All I got was this lousy t-shirt. Yeah, it was the BQ Thunder. And they were doing a giveaway when they were doing a promotion of the Thunder. And a few of us managed to win a t-shirt, which was nice. But yeah, there's a long story behind that. But anyway, back to what we're doing. Okay, Z end stop. That's to me, that is looking slightly different to the one on the original. I don't think it had that locating thing on there, which I think is to stop me putting it too low, possibly. It is. So that sits into the rail of the bottom extrusion, which the other one didn't have. The other one you could slide up and down. This one is fixed, which means it might have to have that knocked off. So if I need to move it, I can move it. But that is going to apparently make sure that I put it in the right place. Ha! So is it supposed to sit? Yeah, that little notch is supposed to sit flat on the top of the extrusion that you can't see because my rail's in the way. I'm sorry. That rail there, it sits onto the top of it, so it stops you from putting it any lower. Like I say, I know in past instances that I've had to lower that slightly, so if that becomes apparent, I'll just have to knock that little tab off so I can actually put it where I want it to be rather than where they think it needs to be. I have an SKR board here, Scott, but I think it's a 1.2. It might even be a 1.1. Never used it, never done anything with it. It's the 1.1 look, Scotty. The original 1.1 board, which is entirely out of focus. Never used it, just sat there gathering dust. They sent it to me to do something with, and I had no idea what they wanted me to do with it, so I didn't do anything with it. Was the plain and simple answer. So we've got that sensor fitted, so yes, that's done, yes, that's done. Let's bang a power supply on and a screen on. So for the power supply, you must select the correct voltage to match your mains. Already set, 230, well done. Very good. Now then, what do we wonder about those? Do you think that is a proper XT60 or do we think that's a copy? We're not going to chop it up to find out, but I will keep an eye on it. Because we all know about the issues with those catching a light, don't we? Now then, where do they expect me to put this cable? That's going to hang off the side of there, is it? Tell you what, that's mighty close to the bed. But anyway, I'm sure it'll be fine. And the nuts I require for this. Ah, now that's interesting. A slight issue with the instructions here. A little bit of guesswork is needed. If you can see that, I'll just get it so you can. Right. It tells you the nuts to put the screen on, which ones. It doesn't tell you which nuts it is, or even bolts, should I say. It is for putting the power supply on. So we're going to have to work it out, because it's either going to be the M4x20s or the M5x25s. I think it's probably going to be the... Oh, it could have been them. M5B8. What have we got here? M4B16s. M4B20s. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of nuts. I think they're going to be probably... I'm going to have a look at the M5B25s. I think first. Are we still alright for quality, guys? I mean, it looks cracking to me, but then I always do. Right, well, it ain't them because they don't go through. Oh. Almost everybody fallen asleep. Oh, I'm losing people. Oh no! People are running away. Oh, that looks good. So we are going to go with the, whatever they were, the M4x20s, I think. Just let's see if they're not being used somewhere else. So a quick look at my excellent manual again. M4x16s, M4x16s, M5x25s, M5x8s, M5x25s. So it's got to be those. Pretty much. It would appear that the M4x20s are the ones we want. So we'll have that in. Chat amongst yourselves, guys. Yeah, I bought the 1.3 for the 32-bit and the ability to run Marlin 2.0 on it. Yeah, Marlin 2.0, like it. Not done a lot with it, but it's the future. You ask Scott, he'll tell you. Not that Scott, the other Scott. Too many Scots. You think there are a lot of Matts? My goodness, there's an awful lot of Scots. And I don't mean people from Scotland. So we have one nut in. We have nut number 2 in. Has anybody been watching... well, watching's possibly not the right word. Sorry, I'm just brain's going off at tangents at the moment. Tim Hoagland, the work he's having done on his new house and the new shop, as the Americans call it, build. Looks like it's going really well. I'm really pleased for him that he's in a situation that he can expand in the way he has. And, you know, more power to his elbow. He's put the hours in, and my goodness, does he work some hours. He seems to be forever on Facebook. But he doesn't half put the work in, does the bloke, bless him. I mean, you know, he's a far more intelligent bloke than I am. And I suppose you get out what you put in, don't you? But no, the shop seems to be coming on really nice. It won't be long before he's moved in there. And hopefully things go well for him, because I'm sure he's going to have some serious overheads. M5x8s. M5x8s. But no, it's all looking good. All looking good. Scalder tends to stick to Scalder because there's too many Scots. Yeah, no, I know what you're saying, mate. There's an awful lot of Matts as well. An awful lot of Matts. We should have a competition to see how many Matts we can name. And go. Go on, start backing them up on that screen. How many Matts do you remember? I can think of 2, and one of them's not me. Well, you're all very talkative, aren't you? Oh, we're down to 8. We're losing them. Yeah, it gets that way. I am one of the worst for shortening people's names. It was like 3D Gusner. Poor bloke. When he first came on my channel, I couldn't be asked saying 3D Gusner every time he wrote something, so I just started calling him Gus, and it kind of stuck. And then everybody on my channel started calling him Gus, and I've no idea what his real name is. I don't think it's Gus. But yeah, no, I'm awful for doing that. Oh, we're down to 7. I'm losing people. I don't blame them. What's come on the telly that they've all gone to watch? Do you know, I think there should be a way of me actually being able to tell which people are still in the room. So I know who's here and who's gone. Don's still here. Well done, Don. Clearly German telly is as bad as English. Okay, so we've got the screen on, we've got the power supply on, we've got the filament sensor on, so we now have to fit this little baby. Well, that's not difficult, is it? What size nuts do we want on her then? We want the M4x18P. Now, I don't know what the P stands for. It might mean something like pan head, I suppose, or something like that, because they're a flat head on them. But who knows? I don't know. I don't know whether there's any football on. I should really know, shouldn't I? I mean, being that I'm English, I mean, I do watch football. I do have a football team. But quite frankly, the best thing about going to watch the football is the drinking. And you know I don't drink. And they're playing rugby. Well, rugby's good. Again, the best thing about going to watch a rugby match is the drinking. I just wish they wouldn't do it while they're on the field. Right, I'm just going to bob this in, and then I'm just going to make sure that it sits flat on the base, because I do know that in the past we have had trouble with getting that rod wrong and it not being perpendicular because it doesn't sit flat on the base. So we'll just get it loose like that. It's sat all over everything else at the minute, which isn't helping the situation. You see there's a, oh, you can see that. Can you see that? There's actually a fair bit of wobbly issuesness there, which could cause issues if we don't get it right. So I'm going to set that there. What I'm doing is I'm looking at the coupling, and I'm getting the coupling level with the center of the extrusion, so without actually getting a spirit level to double check it. That is what I'm going to do. And if I see any sideways wobble, that's not me waving at the camera, if I see any sideways wobble, I know I can adjust that a little just to make things right. So there we go, that's that stepper motor sat in there. Yeah, I'm sure you do, mate. I'm sure you do. Right, so what are we up to now then? Step 5. Ooh. Oh, hang on. Sorry, just see, they've missed out another bit. Unless I've got a page missing out of my book. So when we get to step 4, and they talk about putting that stepper on, they tell you to put the rod in as well, but they don't actually tell you to tighten it up. I shall put it in. Somebody once asked me, and in fairness, I did have to think about it, can you put this rod in the wrong way up? And like I say, I had to sort of go, can you put the rod in the wrong way up? The answer is no, you can't. But it did make me stop and think. Now, I know we've only got 9 people in here now, so I I'm probably preaching to the converted, and you all know this, but when you fit this rod into this coupling all the way down till it touches the other coupling, and then lift it up so it is clear of the other coupling, other end, well, so it's not touching the stepper motor shaft, because the whole point of that coupling is it's got flex, and if that lead screw and the stepper motor shaft are touching each other, there's no room for flexibility, and the whole thing goes to pot. So like I say, I know I'm preaching to the converted with most of you, and you've probably done it a million times yourselves, but make sure. I've now noticed, if I go that way on, you might be able to see that that lead screw is not level, it's pointing out sideways. It's also going inwards. So not only is it leaning over like that, it's also leaning like that. So we have a bit of an alteration to make to get it as level as possible before we go any further. You see, they don't tell you that on the instructions, do they? Work for 3D filament. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I don't think I've seen your name before in here. What are we doing? It's an Ender 3 Pro, which has been kindly sent to me by Banggood, so I can sell some printers for them. I think is how it works. They sent it to me. I do this with it. People see it. People like it. They see the link in the description, and they buy them. And everybody's happy. Right, so we've now got that. Oh, that's still not quite right. Right, so we've now got that Z-rod perpendicular up there. I'm still not happy that it's leaning backwards. Yeah, you see, it's the age-old problem with these. Right, I'm going to see if I can get this up close and personal for you so you can see what I'm actually talking about. Just bear with me, I'm going to make your hands free for a minute. We might have to do a bit of shimming. Yeah, you say that, Scolder, but I need to show you something. Oh, I haven't got enough hands. I'm going to loose this off the table. Remember what I said earlier on about the table? Right. Let me see if I can get that in so you can see it. Can you see what I can see? That's not level, is it? Can you see that? It's actually, there's a bigger gap here than there is here. So that stepper motor is twisted, which means the gap at that end of the lead screw to that end of the lead screw is different. So that's going to cause binding issues. I don't believe I have a gantry top to go on there. Do they have them on? Or do they not bother with them? I don't think they do they? So we may have to have a little bit of a play with that. We may have to make a slight alteration there just to get that to sit properly flat, because at the moment, I don't know if you can see, I've actually got the camera back in the best of places for you. You know, trying to do things backwards and upside down is terrible. But really, that distance should be the same all the way up. And it isn't, because my finger is touching the lead screw there, and when I run my finger down to there, there's a chuffing great gap. So yeah, we will have to have a little bit of work on that. Just to get, we'll put a little shimming down here to maybe bring that out. Or we can put a shimming behind the plastic, so when it tightens up, it's not, because what it's doing at the moment, I'm sure you all know this, don't you? Derek, good afternoon, mate. I'm sure you all know what's happening at the moment is that it's twisting like that because it's pulling the top in, so it's pushing the bottom out. So if I put a shim in between that extrusion and that piece of plastic, that will then mean it doesn't twist up when it tightens, which means it will stay perpendicular. But we'll go ahead as we are, and we will see how it prints, and if we see it being a problem, there is a shim you can print. Do you know, I seem to remember I had this on one of my Ender 3s. Derek will remember, can't remember which one it was, but one of my Ender 3s had exactly the same issue. And I think I put a washer in or something which did the same job. But we'll carry on as we're going, and then we will deal with the issue momentarily. But again, all they have to do is to make this little bit of black plastic that little bit thicker, and then we wouldn't have that problem. But hey ho. So we are now going to build the gantry. So we need some of these, or at least one of them. And that's the thing. Work for 3D filament. It's a well-known problem, but they've still not fixed it. Why would they not fix it? This is an Ender 3 Pro. This is supposed to be the Pro version. So why is it a Pro version with all these extra bangs and whistles and bits and pieces, but they still can't get something simple like making that bracket thick enough that the motor sits straight up? All right, Scott, get me one while you're there, mate. Oh, we don't want to start listing printers. That's not a good idea. What's that? NFL Sun. You know, I always wanted one of those and never got one, but I've got a Delta on its way. Banggood are sending me a Delta to look at. I've had a couple of little BQ Magicians, but they were a bit too small, and I'm not really, I'll be honest with you, I'm not a massive Delta fan, and I'm kind of hoping this machine that comes will change me on that. But the problem is, it's a box of parts, even more than this is, so I'm going to take some convincing, that is for sure. Anybody that's new in the room, that hasn't been here from the beginning, I'll put this out there. New stickers. I believe my address is in my About section on my, just let me check. I think it's in the About section on my channel, and if it's not, I will put it in there. Yeah, it is. It says if you want to send me something, you don't need the CO anymore. I'm not care of. It's where I live now. But if you want one of the new stickers, send me a self-addressed envelope with enough postage on it for it to get back to me, to you from me, and I'll get one of those out to you. If you are from another country, the best thing to do is to, and it's a bit confusing and complicated, go on Google, find out how much it is to post a letter from the UK to your country, and then we'll work it out between us. But if anybody wants one, I've got 50, so they'll be around for a while, I'm sure. A massive amount of time. But yeah, if you want one, self-addressed envelope, or an envelope with a couple of dollars in, although what I'm going to do with dollars I don't know. Whatever, you know, if you want one, send me an envelope. If you have stickers of your own, send me an envelope with your sticker in, and I'll send you one of mine back. How about that? Just go back to that again. No, you're right. Oh, that's a large build plate, isn't it? No, they're not particularly noob friendly at all. I think adhesion is a big issue, especially with the BQ, because it was a small machine and it wasn't a heated bed. The leveling procedure and one thing or another wasn't brilliant, and it kind of put me off. I think it could be a lot easier. Okay, so step 5, we have got one of these, which has got 2 holes at that end. We've got the M4B16s. M4B16s with the washers. And this is where we have to screw in. Talk amongst yourselves, guys, please, because it's better than the conversation you're getting off me at the moment. So, little bolt, little spring washer, bump. The easiest thing to do is to pick that up. Now, if I remember right, yeah, they go into those stupid little holes there, and then you have to feed the Allen key through the hole, the other hole that's on there, tighten them up. Well, the sun's beating down now. It was cool this morning. We have a thing that we do sometimes on a Saturday. We go for a walk into the nearest village. It's about half an hour either way across the fields, and we go and we have a spot of breakfast, and then we walk back and we take the dogs with us. And it was sunny, but my goodness, when the sun went in, it went cold. Wish I bought a jacket or something with me, which I didn't, which was a little on the stupid side. I might just put those in the wrong. Concentrate, man, concentrate. I've got that like that. God, I've done this before. Why am I making such a hard job of it? Really? I should be able to do this with my eyes closed. I think I'm having a moment of stupidity. Oh, hang on, Lee. Wait a minute. Whoa, hang on. Hi, Matt. Question. Which 3D printer maker do you prefer? Now, is that maker or actual printer? At the moment, in order of preference to what I own, I think manufacturer, it's difficult because different printers for different things. I love my Prusa. I've always loved my Prusa. I know that you wait an awful long time to get them once you've paid for them, but they're always at the cutting edge of technology. They always push the boundaries. The quality of the stuff they produce is amazing. Never ceases to amaze me how good it is. And it's just a brilliant machine. But, so I love my Mark III, but I'm going to bat on about this again, and I'm sure there's people on here that are going to go, oh God, here he goes. The Artillery 3D SWX1, which is sat directly behind that camera. I've just dropped an Allen key on the floor. Sat directly behind that camera. It's a new machine. The company have been around for a couple of years now. They used to work, they were a team that worked for another well-known computer company. Well, it's fairly common knowledge now. They used to work for TiVo. They set up on their own. They built a machine. It is still out there somewhere. Didn't do particularly well. They then produced this Sidewinder, the SWX1. I have got one of the very earliest incarnations of it. They've made lots of alterations to it in the last 3 or 4 months. I think they're on version 4 now with the improvements that they've done, but it is a absolutely cock-on machine. The print quality is beautiful. The noise level, it's as near silent as you'll get. The build quality is cracking. The value for money is brilliant. It's a brilliant machine, and I think it is, as somebody said, and I can't remember who it was, I think it was, it could have been Joe, it could have been 3D Maker Noob, that said the Sidewinder is what the Creality CR10S Pro should have been. The only thing that it hasn't got, which some people are dealing with at the moment, is the lack of auto bed leveling on it. But I have had that machine printing pretty much every day since the day I got it, and I have had to change the level of the bed twice. Once because I had to clear a jam on the nozzle through my own mistake, and I took the nozzle off, so when I replaced it I re-leveled the bed, and I can't remember why I did it the other time, but twice since I've got it have I had to level the bed. It is rock solid. It's a mains heated bed as well, so it heats up like Billio. It's an excellent machine. That's all I'm going to say. It's an excellent machine. I have no arguments with it at all. In fact, there's a review somewhere that I did. If you check back through my stuff, you'll hear all about it. But thanks for the question, Lee. I believe you're new in the room, so welcome. Nice to have you along. Clearly there is nobody else streaming this afternoon. Scott's back. Yes, I know, Scott. I'll get you into one eventually. It will happen. You will not be able to resist forever. Right, I'm just trying to get my head around this because I'm completely befusing and befuddling and befuddling myself with this at the minute. That needs to go like that, that needs to go like that. So that's... Why am I finding this so difficult all of a sudden? That's that way, that's that way. That bolts onto there. Right, am I being stupid? I don't think I'm being stupid. What am I doing wrong here, guys? I am doing something. There's something not right here. Right. Right. Somebody tell me what I'm doing wrong. But I don't think it's me. It could be me, but I don't think it's me. Right, we all know what this part of the carriage is. We all know how it works. This rail is bolted onto there. So that milled out piece here sits into the back of here. But the stepper motor's in the way. How am I supposed to get that on there? It doesn't go up high enough. It needs to be at that height. So it's into the stepper motor. Am I being an idiot? I can't be. Does it go, ah, wait a minute. Who's told me? No, not take the motor off. No, stupidity on my part again. Doesn't go on that side, does it? It goes on this side. Goes in like that. I'm trying to put it on the wrong side. Told you it'd been a long time since I've done one of these. Derek, stop laughing. You didn't say anything. You weren't quick on your keyboard, were you, to go, Matthew, you've got it the wrong way around. You could have saved me a lot of embarrassment then. But oh no, no, you just let me sweat it out. This is the only reason why you lot are on here, isn't it? It's not to help me, it's to laugh at me. Horrible, horrible, horrible people. I don't know why I befriended any of you. Really, I don't. So yeah, we'll when I put this video out to the general public, and it's edited. We'll miss that bit out. You know. I mean, there are that many videos on building these machines that really there isn't a need for another one, is there? Not one of this quality anyway. I'm sure there are an awful lot of very polished videos out there with all the right steps in all the right orders, with none of the mistakes, with none of the missing Allen keys. Alright, TK dude. You eat, dude. It's important. The best meal of the day is the last meal that you had. It's 5:45 already. Man, time flies. Didn't think it was that late already. It just shows how long I've taken trying to get this damn thing together. Well, not that. I tried to get Streamlabs to work. Damn useless thing. I now think I'm putting the wrong screws in. This could fall apart any moment now. If the stream goes down, it's just I've thrown something at my computer. Yeah. Come on then, out of the excuses, Derek. Yeah, you had the cat in your lap, so you couldn't reach the keyboard. Yeah, whatever. Oh, it's going in. So I'm guessing work for 3D filament is on then. I do seem to remember you from Wiley's stream, actually. Is that right? Were you on Mike? Are you a regular on Mike's stream? Which I'm looking at the wrong thing. I'm looking at the screen rather than looking at the camera. Sorry. Unfortunately, I am sorry, Mike. I haven't been able to get on your stream just recently. Although I see you did have a guest appearance of Derek the other week. Didn't say a lot, did he? Just sort of sat in the background and played with his printer, but I did see he was on. It's nice to see the collaboration across the pond and all that malarkey. Right, so now I've got that on the right way around. I've got to put my fitting on the end of this into my bag of pneumatic fittings. Of course it is. Sorry, Ron, I should remember. How terrible of me. Take me outside and shoot me. Please, before I have to finish this damn thing off. Okay, so we have 5 done. Oh, it's time to put a belt on. This could be fun. It's telling me to put a belt on now. I suppose so it's just round that loop where it's difficult to get. So teeth side down. Now you see, in my head, again, my head is somewhere different to a lot of other people's, there wouldn't be the need to put the belt on at this point if they didn't have this plastic cap over the end of the stepper motor. If that cap wasn't there and you fitted it yourself, you could actually feed that through later and then put the cap on afterwards, which I think would, in my head, would be easier. Probably won't be, but in my head it would be easier. I've got some real catch up to do, haven't I, Mike? Clearly. Okay, so we have a belt on. We'll stick that in there so it's out of the way. What would it like us to do next, we ask ourselves? Right, in no particular order. So I'll do it in the order I want. I'm sorry, I'm not saying much at the moment, am I? Sorry. Printed rails? Tell me more, Mike. Otherwise I'll stop my stream to go and watch your video. You've been printing extrusions, have you? Is that the plan? Oh, look how it comes back to me. It's like I've never been away. Printing linear rails. Wow. Okay, I do need to catch up with your videos. That is interesting. I'm not quite sure how I would expect linear rails to work when you print them, unless you've got some incredible tolerances on your printer. Printed linear rails. Have they got some kind of washer in them or something? Well, not washer, but something to make them smooth. What was I supposed to be putting in here? The M4B16s again. Tell me more, Mike. Tell me more. Yeah, well, I knew he was doing a load of work on his Ender 3. Is that your Ender 3, Mike, or is it the daughter's one that you've stolen? Because I seem to remember when you started doing videos. It was all about you and your daughter working together on your printers. She got bored quick, didn't she? Yeah, da-da-da-dee. So we go in from the back with these, don't we? So I thought, off this weekend for once, so I will be about tomorrow. Coolio. I thought of something just the other day. You know, Derek, your sideline, other than your main job of employment, I wondered if there was. Do it on my Ender 3. I printed a direct drive for them both and then putting linear rails on mine. Cool. I will have to catch up with those. I was thinking the other day about how to make money out of 3D printing, because I know it's a question I read a lot. Read it a lot on the Facebook groups. People are always asking, you know, can you make money from 3D printing? Well, I came up with an idea. Not for me, because it's not my bag. As you all well know, I work too often as it is. I'd like a bit more free time. But I did think, what about building 3D printers for people? If they buy kits, like they buy an Ender 3 Pro, they want an Ender 3 Pro, but they don't want the hassle of putting it together. You could do a service by which they buy the kit, you go to their house and you build it for them. Then you can do all the checks, all the tolerances and everything else, get a first print out on it for them, quick explanation on how to use Cura, and set them on their way. I think there's money in that. Have you gone, Derek? Oh. Oh well. Oh. But no, I thought that was a good idea. Anybody thinking about it, some way of making money through 3D printing, I think that is a possible thing that I'm sure other people have thought of it. But I know a lot of people, you know, print stuff for people, but why not set the machines up for them? I mean, I know a lot of the machines these days are 4 bolts and they're done, but to have somebody on hand that will either build it for you or talk you through the build and actually be there, because it is difficult trying to do it over the internet or Facebook or whatever. But to have actually somebody there who can, like I say, either do it for you or talk you through the process of doing it, and then make sure you get that first print, and you know, you go through all the stuff about layer adhesion and making sure that your bed's level, and all those things that all the people ask questions about time and time and again on forums. You know, it would be a godsend for people. Yeah, but you see, you wouldn't need to, Derek, because all you're doing for them, if you're only printing a benchy, it don't matter, does it? You know, all you're doing, literally, is putting the machine together for them and making sure it prints. That's all you're doing, you know. At that point on, it becomes their machine. They, you know, get their STLs from wherever they want, print whatever they want, do whatever they want to do with it. But you're there as a guy to get that machine running for them, make sure it prints correctly, make sure there are no issues, because people new to the game can spend an awful lot of time fighting to get a first print out of a printer when there's a simple issue that somebody like yourself with a bit of, you know, knowledge about 3D printing could have spotted inside the first minute and fixed. But you know, you're not there with them. So if you were there with them, you would spot that, you would solve it, you would save them an awful lot of heartache. Well, it's there for somebody. Like I say, it was just somewhere somebody had said, you know, how can you make money out of 3D printing? And it just sort of in my head, I thought, well, that would work. That would definitely work. I mean, I know a lot of the fun is building it yourself, and half of the knowledge is building it yourself. All of us that built our A-nets will know about that. You know, the joy of that was building it yourself, and you taught yourself an awful lot of lessons very quickly. So I've done that, I've done that, I've done that, I've done that. I'm doing stuff now, guys. I'm doing stuff. Don't tighten too tight. I won't, don't worry. But they're tight already, so that sort of negates that straight away. Cables, cables, cables. Oh, I've got a cable tie getting in my way. I don't think I'm far off now, guys, actually, to be honest with you. It wasn't too difficult, was it? Only really got the top gantry going on the wiring to do. And are we going to try for blue smoke today? Are we going to try for blue smoke today? Do we think we should? Well, that's not too shabby. Seemed to have quite a smooth action there, didn't it? I never had an A8. Got 8 other printers at the moment. All paid for. I don't know why you're moaning that you've paid for them. You've clearly got the money to buy them. If I had to pay for all mine, I'd have 4, 5. Right, just doing a little wheel test just to see if they're... That's good. That's good. They're nipped up quite nicely. That's carriage is, it's passable. So I haven't got to do a lot of work with that at all. Those eccentric nuts seem to be in almost the right position. It's funny that they're telling me not to over tighten yet, and they've tightened them, not me. Step 10. we're banging top on. Is what we're doing. Just my end caps. Now then, we'll be interested to see how far out these lines are, won't we? How is that going to look on there? Can you see that? Does that show up? That's a fairly good fit. It's not perfect, but it's a fairly good fit. We will see what happens when we get the see how well the bolts go in, shall we? We'll do the outside two first, because that's always the clincher. We're about a mil out maybe. I'm just having to flex the frame ever so slightly to get that bolt in. So when I get that bolt in, I will just loosen the ones off on the bottom and then tighten them back up again, and that should hopefully pull everything square. Excuse me while I lie on the floor to pick me a bit up. So we'll just, yeah, it's about 1/2 mil at that stage, so we'll just nip that up tight, but that is now going to be pulling in like that. So we will just loosen the bottom off a little and then retighten, because that will hopefully alleviate that pull, and it will make those sit nice and square. So 12 still managing to watch. Congratulations. It's very good of you. Don't know quite how you managed that. My mic pack's getting in the way. Should move that down to there. So there's no really easy way to tilt this now I've got all this together. I am just going to loosen these 4 bottom ones off ever so slightly. And that will help reset that top. In fact, I felt it go then. So when I did that last nut, just felt it sit into place. And that's all you need to do. If there's an awful lot of pressure on the top, get 2 bolts in and then come back down to the bottom and loosen those 4 off, and you'll feel it sigh, a sigh of relief as it sorts itself out. I'll just check those 4 while I'm down here. Okay, we're good. We've got the top on. Put the last 2 bolts in now. Yeah, hit the thumbs up button. Goodness sake, what's wrong with you people? You think I'd do this for charity? If you don't want to do it, you don't have to. Lots of lovely feedback from the Sidewinder video though. Really pleased with that. Lots of people with nice comments, which were very much appreciated. And like I say, everybody's seen an Ender 3 put together, or an Ender 3 Pro put together, so quite what I was supposed to bring to this build, I don't know, but I've been me. As some of you will know, I've just been me. Where am I going now? Sorry, I'm just checking stuff. Can't believe what the time is. It's ridiculous. I wonder how long they'll stay before they fall off. Seems to be a slightly different design this time. Oh, there's a different design that doesn't fit. Get in. Okay, so we're down to the wiring, I think. That's pretty much where we are. Oh no, I've got to build the spool holder. Don't really need instructions for building a spool holder, do I? Do I? Oh, I've lost the chat. Hello, chat, where have you gone? To get my chat back. There we go, there's my chat back. Derek, it's your shout, mate. I checked all the belts on my A10 and I am getting layer shifting on every print. Other than the belts, what else could it be? Come on, Derek, you're an expert on layer shifting. You've solved more layer shifting problems with your machine than, well, with all your machines. You're quite good at sorting those problems out. You're quite good at getting them as well, has to be said. But I'm sure you've got an answer to that. Jerk settings. Sorry, camera. Jerk settings. Absolutely right, Derek. I remember. Jerk settings. That's the answer. Turn it down to 1. Is that right? You turn it down to 1, Derek? Is that what you do? And there's nothing wrong with A10s. Don't you dare. G-Tech are a lovely company. I've always said that. I stand by it. Their after sales, certain manufacturers I won't mention, are fantastic. Has to be said. You do have a video on your channel, don't you, Derek? In fact, bang the link up, mate. You have the rights. Bang the link up so you can go and have a look at your how you did it, mate. Because this is what it's all about. It's all about sharing. This is what I love about this community, is that people share. Go on, Derek, find it, or somebody else find it. Morning chat with Derek on Facebook about getting layer shifts on his A10, and then somebody else shared with him the fact that it could be jerk settings, which solved his issues. So now he's passing that information on, and that's what we love. Richard, good evening, my dear friend. You've missed it all. You've missed everything. We've had fires, we've had tornadoes, a little fairy turned up. Oh, actually, Derek's still here. All right, mate. Good to see you. Hope things are well. Hope the missus is all right. I'm just prattling about. I have been given this printer by Banggood to sell more printers for them. That people will look at me building it and go, wow, what an amazing printer, what an amazing job he's doing. let's buy some printers. I don't hold out a great deal of hope. But hey ho, we're having fun. At least I'm having fun. I don't know whether anybody else is. Yeah, we've got Don in the room. We've got everybody in here. Everybody say hello to Richard. And Dawn, if she's in the background watching. Hello, Dawn. I know she watches in the background. I think she's got a thing for me, actually. And while you are on, Richard, new stickers. Let me know. Same goes for you, Derek. Because Richard, our Patreons, and Scott, you'll get a new one. I'll get those out to you. Because that's what you get for looking after me. You know, you give me all that money every month and I give you a sticker worth £1 once in a lifetime. That's the way the world works, apparently. Right, so we've got that all the way in. We've got that all the way in. That is actually, could possibly do with a little time, but we'll worry about that later. So, electrics. You've come at the best bit, Richard. This is when everything could go wrong. I keep telling you, Richard. Hang on. Yes, please, Dawn would like one, thank you. Is this the sticker or the thing I was talking about earlier? Behave. You've come at the best point, Richard, because this is where everything could go up in flames. So well done. Right, do I look at the instructions? Because they're not labelled as well as they used to be. I seem to remember the steppers were labelled and everything, and I don't think these days they're bothering that much. Poof. Who are you calling a poof? We are not going to have any magic smoke. Are we? Right, just getting my head around what I've got here. So that'll be Z, I would imagine, because it's the smallest one. Yeah, that's a Z, so we'll have that onto there. That's already in, so that's all right. Heat bed's already in. So we've got this one, which has got E for extruder, X for X carriage, and X for something. So we are going on to, no, that's not right, is it, you muppet? Tell you what we'll do, while we're here, we'll get the power in, because that's a nice easy one. I'm not used to having to do cables, you know. Ribbon cables, yes. Anything else? No. Yeah. Right, so where's my Z? It's all gone very quiet. So we'll have that up into there. Sorry, I'm not reading. Wife bought me a new drill. I think building something will be in my future. As long as it's not a coffin, we're alright. So we've got an X. Yeah. And we've got an X. I should have had that slightly higher up when I did that. Would have been a lot easier. Just there we go. And then we'll have that into the extruder. And then we've just got the screen to do. And which cable does it go to on the screen? But it doesn't tell me, does it? No, oh, EXP3 it does. I was about to say that's another bad omission by him. But it does actually say. Which one? I've got the sun in my eyes, can't see anything. Well, how ridiculous. Sun! My goodness, the sun, everybody, the sun! We're having issues with bright lights. That's no good. Just for the fun of it. So you've got the ribbon cable to go into the display, and you've got 3 ports on the back of the display. 2 of which are really easy to get to. The third one is right in the way with the extrusion being in the way, and that's the one you got to plug the cable in. Cheers guys. Nothing like making life simple, and that's nothing like it. You know, why would you do that? Why didn't you just put it in, have it set up so it's in the one that isn't in the way? Can't be that difficult to sort out, can it? Okay, so we appear, as much as it is possible to be, to have a machine in one piece. Are we doing this thing? Oh, well, you can see anymore. We're doing this thing, or are we not bothering? Because quite frankly, it doesn't do it for me anymore. Okay, it seems to fit fairly well. I mean, fabulous magnetic build plate. Seems to go on when it feels like it. Okay. Do a quick check of the cables. That one seems to have a massive great loop in it. It doesn't seem to matter too much. God, I hate cables. Now then, all we need to do is to power it up. That was another issue that we had. I don't know what I've done with it now. There it is. Banggood, what country am I in? What sort of plug do we have in my country? Not one of those. What's a man to do? So I need to get some power. Have I got enough length? We ask ourselves. I might have to come from the other side of the room. This is where we have the advantage of this wonderful battery powered mic. Well done, Scott. Good call, mate. Just stand in the box, because why not? Try to avoid the printer that's on the floor. We'll unplug that. We will plug that in. I am double checking we are on 230 volts, and we are. I am inserting the plug. I'm not switching it on. The plug is inserted. I am coming back. I am back. Right, should we move things around so you can actually see? Oh, can you see? You can kind of see, can't you? I've moved the bed. Now that's interesting. That's awfully close. Ugh. Note to self, I have to make sure that that bed this magnetic build surface, that's going to be interesting, is at the very least sat flush with that, because otherwise it's going to touch the power supply, and we don't want that, do we? There we go, that appears to be alright. Okay, bang, boom. Anybody else want to say anything? Scolder, this is tidy, trust me. Right, here we go then. On the count of 3. 3. We have a sign, it says Ender. I have no smell of smoke. And it says Ender 3 Pro. So we've got the right firmware on it. Hate that beep. Okay, so it all seems to be fairly straightforward. Let's do a bit of axis moving first, just to make sure that everything's all right. That's okay. That's okay. And that's okay. So, oh, I didn't check the extruder, did I? Very good. Fantastic. Right, what are we going on here? Yes. Right, so let's go home. Let's try heating up the hotbed. Prepare. Preheat PLA. Fans kicked in. Don't know whether you can hear that. It's not the most silent machine I own. So at the moment we're heating the nozzle only, and it's going to 185 it reckons, which I would have said was a little bit low for PLA. I tend to start, a bit like Scott, I start at about 200, see how it prints. Generally first layer 210 and then 2.5 for every layer thereafter. I think 185 is far too low. I would expect to see some issues. I don't know what you guys think. Load some filament? I don't think so, Derek. We're getting close to actually printing something if we start loading filament. So I don't know what you think about noise levels. I'll just take this fan off. Fan off? It's not a fan, is it? It's a microphone. And I shall just do... and that is the fan on the power supply. So you can make your own assumptions from that. Well, it's loud when I've got the microphone on it. It probably isn't that loud in real life, but it's not too bad, let's say. So bed's up to temperature. Sorry, nozzle's up to temperature. Bed hasn't started heating yet. And I know why. Because it doesn't preheat the bed, does it? When you ask to preheat PLA, it doesn't heat the bed up. Temperature. Bed. Let's get that bed up to 60 degrees. God, that beep's annoying. "3D Print Viking, welcome to the room. We're up to 15 people watching." I don't know what you're watching. Really, I don't. It's a man building a printer that's been built a billion times before on YouTube. And Banggood sent me this one to build for you to buy. Not this one, but one of their ones. It's a pro. We haven't had many issues as yet, apart from the idiot building it. But so bed temp's coming up quite quickly. Yeah, that's quite pretty nice, is that? Right, shall we try an auto home, kids, and see what happens? How far through the bed does the nozzle go? Oh, a long way. That bed is... Oh my goodness, that wheel's loose. Right, the first thing we'll do... is that. Now, we don't appear to have any sort of routine on here for levelling the bed. I wonder if there's anything on the SD card for doing it. Isn't it a bed levelling routine on the SD card? The printer is not interesting. You are, Matt. I don't know whether to take that as a compliment, Don, or not. Answers on a postcard too. Is Matt interesting? BBC Television Centre. London W1N4WW. I don't remember, something like that. So we're going to put the SD card in. Don't worry, I have virus protection on my computer. It cannot harm me. At the moment it's not recognising it. Ah, there we go. Okay, so we have test dog. We have a user guide, which is a batch file, and we have a, I don't know, it is something batch file that doesn't mean anything to me at all. We have a couple of PDFs, parameter data, the drivers, a troubleshooting guide, user manual, lots of pretty pictures to tell you how to put it together, but nothing for leveling the bed. So the next question is how would you, as a new user who's just got this machine and you've read that you need to level the bed, how would you do it? How would you go about it? I want to know, because I know what I would do in this situation where you haven't physically got a bed leveling routine on your SD card or anything like that. I know a lot of people would connect to a computer. Get out my spirit level. Funny, Scott. Funny. And in your caravan, there's nothing level. I know a lot of people would connect to their PC and they would run, they would run Repetier, wouldn't they? Or something like that, and they would make it move to the four corners and do it that way. I know other people who will manually twizzle the dial to get it into the four corners and do it that way. Watch YouTube. That's not going to level your bed, is it, Richard? Are you just going to sit and watch YouTube? You'll end up watching bloody videos on cats and never get it level. Tell you what I did, and it's probably not the right way of doing it, but it's the way I did it anyway. All I did was, I got it up to temperature, and I went down, and like a naughty boy, I disable the steppers. Is what I do. Once I've got it all homed, I just disable the steppers. Now, I can move that to that side, push the heat bed forwards, get my piece of paper underneath, and do it that way. And then I can just slide the bed forward, do that corner, do that corner, and that's how I do it. I just disable the steppers and do it that way, because that way I know that I can check in the middle of the bed, I can check the full distance across the bed. Now put my piece of paper in and drag that, and I can feel it all the way across. So that's how I do it. And I think it's easier than all the prattling about with, you know, setting up routines on the printer or whatever to do it. I just find doing it with the steppers turned off is as good as you'll get. Whoa! It's got a long way to go, as that one. Well, at least at least one person does it the same way as me. So I can't be completely wrong, can I? But it just, in my little head, it just seemed the simplest way of doing it. Well, that's four corners done. We'll come back to the front. We'll give it a check. That's a bit loose again. Is this exciting for you guys, watching me level a bed? Is this what your Saturday evenings have come to? It's getting awfully tight again. What makes you think this bed isn't entirely level? Come to this end. You know, you can see this, can't you? Right. A bit of resistance, but not a massive amount. Got the other end. A little bit less resistance. So we'll just eke that back till I get about the same. That's about the same. Let's come to the middle of the front of the bed. Can you see the difference? Level. Level. Not level. We'll go to the back. Bit of resistance, but still moving. Bit of resistance that's still moving. Into the middle. It's not good, is it? Oops is about right, Richard. Oops is about right. I mean, that is... I mean, just let me show you the corners again. We'll just come back over here. If anything, that one's gone loose again. So I've got resistance, but that's moving backwards and forwards. That one's actually tightened up a touch. Got resistance, but it's moving backwards and forwards. We're going to go around all four again. Come to the front. There we go. Come to this side. There we go. We'll go around again. So I'm fairly happy with those 4 corners. Back to the middle. Middle's not so bad. Front and back is terrible. So the next question is how do you fix the wall bed? It's coming off is the answer. But we are going to attempt to print something. Do we do the dog? Really? Who has got in front of them a pre-printed bit of G code for something for the Ender 3? That's an unmodified Ender 3. There's no point putting mine on. Because I ain't doing this dog. Do I have an Ender 3 profile hiding on Simplify 3D? Sledgehammer. Yeah, well, you know, that might be the answer. Well, quite frankly, there's no point having a long test. We don't want to be playing at long tests. We want something simple. So let's have a look. I've got recent ones, haven't I? Oh look, I've got a benchy. I'll tell you what, we'll chuck that in. We will delete that process. We will add a process. I really ought to nick Filament Frenzy's one, hadn't I? That would be the ultimate Ender 3 one, won't it? Okay, we'll do that, we'll do that, we'll do that. Let's just see what I can find on here. I found something. Yeah, that should do. Okay. Let's center him on the bed. Prepare to print. It's nearly 2 hours, but we're not gonna have it run all the way through. I will leave it running, but I won't leave the stream on. What I might do is put some photographs on. I'll tweet some later. Okay, so we're going to save. We are going to save, and then we are going to safely eject, like that. We'll take that out and there. Can you see the screen? Now the sun's gone in. Let's move you around to there. Right. Let's bang the old SD card in to put it in the wrong way up, because that's how it works. Click, and we will go to initialize SD card. Have I got anybody watching still? 14. Jeez. 14 of you. Okay, we're going to print from SD card. We're going to do an extreme close-up of what we're about to print. Nope, there you go. That's what we're going to go for. Wexter at his best. So we are going to print from SD. Oh, put this in. I know my spore holder's sticking over the front, but that's where I prefer it. If you'd really like me to turn it round, I will do, but I actually prefer it that way around. I'm going to have to chop that. Do you know, for a 50-year-old man, my eyesight's terrible. For a 30-year-old man, my eyesight's terrible. Okay, so we're going to quickly home. So we're going up to 215 on the nozzle, as is Filament Frenzy's want. That's what we do. I'm almost 55. I'll get there one day, hopefully. Just going to force a little bit of filament in. Hot nozzle. Never touch a hot nozzle. Okay, we're about there. Any minute now we should start. There we go. Gosh, I hate these cables. So we have our wipe line done. Camera's there, it's not over there, that's a telly. Well, we've got a first layer going down. It's not perfect. But we have got a first layer. So, about wrap it up there, guys. I'd like to very much thank Scott Scalder for his very kind gift several hours ago. Really do appreciate that, mate. Thank you so much. That will go on something important. It won't just be beer and kebabs, I promise you. Thank you all for joining in, for being here, for spending your Saturday afternoon and early evening if you're in the UK, or whatever it happens to be where you are. I know in America it's probably around lunchtime, if my brain serves me correctly. I will be doing a follow-up video to this, actually reviewing this machine. Again, I know I'm doing bolting the stable door after the horse has left or whatever. But this is what I have to do. Banggood have sent me it to review, so review I will. Initial impressions, not a massive amount of differences really from the original Enders that I have. Okay, so they've turned the control board upside down. They've put this removable build plate on, which we will test and see how it is. very little else that, you know, makes a lot of difference to me. They've toughened this up a little, but apart from that, nothing major going on. But we'll see how it prints. Of course, Meanwhile Power Supply, that's an improvement as well, isn't it? I believe when they came out, they were £100 more expensive, or $100 more expensive than the standard Ender 3. I don't know where they sit now side by side, but I'll look into that. Build wasn't difficult. A couple of little issues that, if you aren't in the know, I suppose could become a problem. But we'll let this run. I'll get some pictures out once I've finished. On Twitter, you can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me, or you can contact me on Facebook. You can become a Patreon, then you get things like free stickers when I get them, wherever I've done with them. They've already got those. They're now getting one of the new bumper stickers. You don't have to put it on a bumper. You can stick it on the back of the wife's head, whatever you want to do. Yeah, become a Patreon, help support the channel, help to get fantastic content like this out. Yeah, don't leave yet, Richard. I haven't finished. So you can support me on Patreon. You can support me on through Streamlabs, which somebody did put a link up to much earlier on. But it's all in the description, and it's all on my page. If you are interested in a car sticker, if you send me an envelope with your name and address on, and either, if you're in the UK, postage on the front to cover it. If you're in a foreign country, either send me one of your stickers and I will send you one back, or if you want one sending abroad, just stick a couple of euros or a couple of dollars or whatever in the envelope to pay the postage, and I will send you one of my new stickers. And that's it. Thanks very much. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't already, do so. Hit the bell button, hit the thumbs up button to say you've enjoyed the video, and we'll see the results on social media later. Take care, guys. Thanks again. I don't know how to turn this off. I think it's basically this button. We'll see you later. Nobody going to say anything before they go? I'm not even on the right page of the chat. You see, I'm so smooth, like butter. Now there you go. Scott just pops up. There's only about 30 to 50 quid difference on Amazon. So, is it worth 50 quid? Maybe. We'll wait and see. We'll have a look. Like I say, thanks a lot, guys. Look after yourselves, look after each other, enjoy 3D printing, but, you know, there are more important things in life. Kebab, beer, that's where I'm going now. See you later.